Welcome back to My Life on a GLP-1, the podcast where we talk about the real unfiltered journey with these medications. I'm your host, Scott Johnson.
And I'm Sarah. We're so glad you're with us today.
Today we're diving into a topic that I think is absolutely crucial but doesn't get talked about enough. It's not about starting your journey, it's about staying on it. Sarah, have you ever had one of those moments where you're just sitting in your car, avoiding going inside because you have to face something?
Only every time I have to go to the dentist or my in-laws. Just kidding. But yes, I know that feeling. Why? What's up?
For me, it was the pharmacy parking lot. I just picked up my Zepbound and was trying to justify the cost.
That feeling is so real, and it's the core of what we're talking about today. Everyone focuses on starting a GLP-1, but the harder part is staying committed.
It really is. And there are some numbers that back this up in a pretty shocking way. A huge number of people stop taking these medications much earlier than they probably should.
Okay, hit me with it. How bad is it?
It's pretty staggering. Studies show that for people on GLP-1s for weight management, nearly 65% stop within 1 year, and 85% have stopped by the 2-year mark.
Wow. Okay, so before anyone listening starts to spiral, let's unpack that. That doesn't sound like a personal failure. That sounds like a systemic issue.
Exactly. That's the most important takeaway. These numbers aren't a report card on your willpower.
Right. So what are the real-world reasons behind those stats? It can't just be people giving up.
Not at all. It points to huge real-world challenges. The biggest ones are cost and insurance hurdles. Then there are side effects that some people just can't tolerate.
That makes sense.
And it's also about the massive lifestyle adjustment. It's about what happens when your expectations don't line up with the day-to-day reality of being on this medication.
And support can wane, right? In the beginning, everyone's excited for you, but after a few months, it just becomes your new normal, and that external motivation might fade. Okay, so let's talk about the why. Why is pushing through that hard part so critical? What actually changes?
First, the biology. These medications aren't a magic bullet. They build their effect gradually, stabilizing your system over months.
Right, it's a long game. Your body needs time to adapt to this new normal. It's not a temporary fix.
Exactly. The longer you're on it, the more your body adapts. It becomes this background support system that lets you make clearer decisions around food with less stress.
That food noise reduction is a game changer.
It is. And the second big thing is how progress changes. Early on, it's all exciting. The scale is moving, clothes fit better, people notice.
The dopamine hits are real.
Totally. But 6 months in, the scale might not budge for weeks. That's the plateau everyone dreads, but it doesn't mean the medication stopped working.
It means the work is getting deeper. It's less about the scale and more about building lasting habits, trusting your body, and noticing those non-scale victories.
Exactly. You start to notice deeper changes, like the quiet fading of emotional eating. Staying committed lets you see those long-term wins.
And what about the flip side? What happens when people stop too early?
Well, the research is pretty clear. Weight regain often happens, and it can happen fast. The underlying biological factors that made weight management tough in the first place are still there. The medication was a tool to manage them.
So if you take the tool away before the new habits and mindset are completely solidified, you risk undoing all that progress. That brings up a great point about what commitment even looks like. I think some people feel like staying on a medication long-term is a sign of weakness or dependency. It's a false narrative. This isn't about dependency, it's strategy. You're choosing to use a tool that works. That's smart, not weak.
So let's give our listeners some of that strategy. What are some practical ways to build a framework that supports long-term commitment?
Okay, I love this. I think the first thing is to redefine how you track progress. Get off the scale only mindset.
Yes. Schedule regular check-ins with yourself. Notice your energy levels, your relationship with food, how your body feels. Track those non-scale victories we talked about.
And talk to your doctor. If you hit a plateau or have tough side effects, they're your partner. They can help adjust your dose or give you strategies.
Absolutely. Another huge one is building a support circle. Friends, online communities, a coach, Whatever works for you. You need people who get it, especially when things get tough.
Absolutely. My last tip is to reward the small wins. Making it through a stressful week without binge eating. Celebrate that to build momentum.
That's it. I still have those moments in the pharmacy parking lot, but the question has changed. It's no longer, should I continue, but how will I continue?
That shift is everything. It's the difference between just trying something and truly committing to your health for the long haul. And let me pause and take a moment to shout out to each of our listeners. We've grown our audience tremendously over the last year thanks to you and your commitment to us. Please take a moment to share our podcast or give us an amazing rating whenever you can spare a moment. Tell us, Scott, I heard a rumor you have some really exciting things to share as we wrap today.
I do, Sarah, and thank you. If you have listened for a while, many of you know I published a rather personal book about my own lived experiences taking these medications. If you have not, it is on Amazon in paperback and Kindle and called My Life on a GLP-1. I hope you will check it out. But that's not the exciting part. Just this past weekend, I had a news crew travel across the country to interview me on camera and a few other surprises. It is such a fun story on my journey, and I promise to share more details where you can watch the clip soon. Stay close to my website and social platforms for sure. When we talk about staying the course on this journey, let me remind you that you've already made the tough decision to start. Staying might be challenging in different ways, but you have more strength and capability than you probably give yourself credit for. That strength does not always look like enthusiasm or motivation. Sometimes it just looks like showing up again tomorrow and the day after that and the day after that. And honestly, that is the kind of commitment that changes everything. So, on behalf of Sarah, thanks for listening. And until next time, love your journey.